And welcome in to Tennessee Tuesday on a Tuesday evening. We're getting towards the end of November as Thanksgiving is upon us this week. I'm your host, John Blankenship, along with Jason Boshears this evening. And Jason, good evening to you.
Good evening, John. How are we doing this afternoon, this evening, young man?
Man, fantastic. Getting ready to get filled up on Thursday. And as we talk about Thanksgiving, Jason, man, we have so much to be thankful for, not only this time of year, but every day of life. God has truly blessed us. And we also have so much to be grateful for as well. We know there's a difference in Thanksgiving and gratefulness. And Lord, the Lord sure has been good to me and my family, Jason. I'm sure you can testify to that as well.
Oh my goodness, yes. I mean, look at the size of me. I get to eat well. So yes, I'm blessed with that. I've got a home. It's just I think decent health from what I could tell. But
Mhm.
so much of it is he just blesses us all every day.
Yes,
And
he does. He sure does. And we're so thankful this time of year. And here in just a moment, we're going to introduce our special guest coming up in just a couple of minutes that'll be with us this evening. But before we introduce him and get into conversation with him tonight, we want to talk a little bit of things going on across the division, especially since this show features news, especially from the Tennessee Division of the Sons of Confederate Veterans, where I serve as division commander. Jason serves as division adjutant. So we've, of course, got to talk a little bit of news across the division, Jason. And one of those, since it just happened this past weekend, was the Sam Davis Memorial Service, which I know you were a guest speaker at. And we talked about, of course, during Tennessee Tuesday last week, the history of Sam Davis and his story. You continued that on and did that discussion. Also, James Turner was the speaker there inside the museum. I hate I didn't get to be with you guys. I'm just getting over a cold, virus, all that type of stuff. So got stuck at home this past weekend, but we've got some photographs, Jason. And if you want to comment a moment or two about kind of how the day went, there's a good photograph of you, T-Rex, in person.
Well, if you're going to pop that picture up there, we need to start with a disclaimer, okay? The views and opinions expressed on this broadcast are not those of the Sons of the Confederate Veterans, its General Executive Council, nor any division, brigade, camps, or any subsidiaries. The opinions being expressed are the opinions of the person making those, making the
Exactly
statement.
right.
Yes. Make
Well, we
sure we.
do thank you for watching with us tonight, being with us. And of course, we start out with that great picture there of you, Jason. You spoke this past Saturday at the Sam Davis home in Smyrna, Tennessee. And for that memorial service, as you give a very good rendition, maybe rendition's not the word I'm looking for, but telling Sam Davis's story with so much passion, which just adds to the story. And we heard some of that, of course, on Tennessee Tuesday last week. But having that at the graveside, so important to be able to continue to remember Sam Davis and his story, the boy hero of the Confederacy. And there you see another photograph, of course, of some of those that were in attendance that were dressed appropriately for the day in their reenactment gear and also in mourning there. You see them in that photograph. And we're not going to name everybody, but there's a wide variety of OCR, UDC, SCV, all is covered there at the Sam Davis home. And that's just a few of those that were in attendance. And then we kind of jump inside here, and you can see a photograph of some of those that were listening to James Turner speak there, and a good crowd in attendance as well. And of course, I'll show one more picture here, and then Jason, feel free to jump in and tell about kind of how the day went there. You see some of the reenactors. They're doing a volley to remember Sam Davis.
Yes. It's always humbling to be there and to be at Sam's gravesite. The Sam Davis home is a special place, and to know Sam being there. And I'll go and tell you, as far as how the day went, that was the largest crowd that we have had at that memorial. It was I always call it the little theater at the Sam Davis home. And John, you have spoken there at the Sam Davis home. And we have a museum. Inside the museum is, hey, Roy, how you doing there, young man? I'll be seeing them here in about a month and a half because I'm going to be speaking their Lee Jackson at the J.J. Dickinson camp. And yes, and you're right, Charles LeRae, it was a huge turnout. The little theater was full. There were people that were standing. This largest group of black roses that we had ever had there. And it was just humbling to be there and to be able to say those words about Sam. It is a big story. And I always get asked, well, why didn't you say this? Well, and you said something that you didn't say the last time. Well, Sam's story is a long story, especially if you want to start from when, let's not even talk about birth. Let's just talk about from the time he started the war. And then let's talk about after he got wounded in Kentucky, and then he started being a Coleman Scout, just to tell the story from November 13th all the way up to November 27th. And you cover a day by day. And I started doing a day by day, and I realized I was running long, so I left stuff out. It's just a long story. So when you say something about Sam and you go to tell the whole story, it takes a while. And I apologize to anybody because there were some people that come up and said, hey, you mentioned this last time. You didn't mention it this time. You're correct. Because I wanted to cover some of the things that had happened to Sam before. And then I ended up talking about the people that he interacted with just a few days before, and the reason why he ended up with the paperwork that he ended up with. I got to talking about Billy Moore, and Billy Moore was a member of Coleman Scouts that was supposed to be carrying the paperwork that Sam carried. But Billy Moore wore his horse out. And Henry B. Shaw, he went by the moniker of E. Coleman, met with Billy Moore and said, hey, you've wore your horse out. And then I had to tell about Billy Moore lives there on Mooresville Pike, a mile and a half or so down from Elm Springs. And, that was his family farm that was there. So I ended up telling some of that. But Sam's story is a very humbling story to tell. And, you just talk about him. And
you just
the story tells itself. Yes.
Well, again, a great turnout there, a great time, and thankful all those that put that together and continue that legacy to tell, as you said, tell Sam's story and the sacrifice he made. He still is a hero, not only for the Confederacy, but I think a hero for America. and
Oh,
what he
absolutely.
stood for. So again, a great service there. We've got some more division news we'll touch in towards the end of the program, Jason. But I know everybody that's watching us tonight, and we have a good crowd on with us this evening on the different outlets on SCD Chat and Tennessee Tuesdays pages, are here to listen to the man himself, one Mike Beck from East Tennessee, who is in Morristown, and he's going to be talking with us tonight about a couple of things: the Tennessee Division reunion, which is coming up in April of 2026, and also Mike does a lot of work with the General Longstreet Museum there, and we'll be talking about that tonight, showing some pictures of some of the progress and the work they've done over the years. And Mike, welcome into us tonight.
Hello, Commander. Good to be with y'all tonight, and Tennessee Division members and fellow compatriots across the Confederations. Thank you for hosting me tonight. Got a little technical difficulty on my end where you don't see my picture, but we will make it work, as we say.
Well, Mike, I hate tonight that folks are not getting to see you, but because I mean, I know what a mug you have there that folks want to see.
Yes.
Yeah, just a big target, guys. But hey, I'm proud to be here to share with the great news that we're doing here in Morristown at the Longstreet Museum. And this is something that we'll talk about. It's all about every one of us in the Confederation and our heritage.
Absolutely. Well, let's kind of jump in tonight a little bit, Mike. We'll kind of tell a little bit about the division reunion. Let's do that first, and then we'll take a break and we'll come back and talk in detail about the Longstreet Museum. So let's kind of talk about the Tennessee Division reunion. Now they're going to be hosting that, the Bradford Rose Camp in April of this year. Let's kind of jump in. You want to tell me what's going on? What's the plans for the Tennessee Division reunion?
What you see on the screen is our application. And those dates and prices are very solid. I encourage everyone to sign up and don't procrastinate like we all do. You know how it goes. So I'll just put that out there. We've tried to keep prices as cheap as possible to make things work for everybody, because we want everybody to come from across this division for this. Yeah, we got a business meeting, we've got an election, but we've got a special event. And Jason and I talked about this, and I put the question out there to everybody. How many divisions will be dedicating a Confederate statue at the reunion?
Yeah, that's true.
I'm just asking a question across the Confederation. Can anybody else remember anything across the Confederation? Or was there something like that happening within the Tennessee Division that some of us are not aware of in years gone by? But this is a great opportunity to have this monument dedication, and I call it Jordy Barnett statue, or Camp Commander Jordy statue. But anyway, what I told him, I said, if you raise the money, I'll find a piece of dirt out here on the museum grounds. We'll put the statue up. So that's going to take place at our Tennessee Division reunion that Saturday afternoon. And I'll kindly be behind you, John, hurrying everybody up so we can get out that business meeting time so we can go dedicate that monument. And I'm working with the politicians and stuff right now, trying to coordinate that and make this a big grand event for all of us, because we appreciate the division's help on this, because we've all been pulling together to make this happen. And as a board member of the Longstreet Museum, Lake Louisiana Preservation, I want to extend a great thank you to everybody that's been helping.
Yeah, a lot of folks have worked on this. Of course, Mike, I've done a couple of division reunions. Jason's done one. So we know what the work goes into this to make this happen. You guys are putting a lot of effort into making a good time to come up there to the Morristown area. So let's kind of talk about what else is happening that day, Mike. Of course, we mentioned the dedication of the monument, but tours as well you're working on.
Well, we've talked about the tours, and it's kind of on the back end of things, because we want to really highlight this monument dedication at the Longstreet Museum. And if time permits, we may go down to Bethesda Church, which was nearby, which is a field hospital at the time when General Longstreet's Army was our 1st Corps Army, Northern Virginia. And there's some accounts of them using this building. And I know some of you all have been there before and got a chance to go through the building. We had different events there. And if time permits, we may do a little bit of that, but I want to have everybody to really enjoy the festivities at the Longstreet Museum and the monument dedication after our Tennessee division reunion, our business meeting.
Yes, that's going to be fun, a good time, and get to see the museum. So, Mike, if folks want to come, of course, it's open, of course, to Tennessee Division members, and outside members of the SCV can attend as well. Of course, you won't be voting or anything in the business session, but you can attend, and you got a registration fee. Of course, this form is on our division website at tennesseescv.org. You can go there and download that form and fill that out. Mike, do you want to kind of talk about what they get for their $65 per attendee? What's going to be they get for the evening and for the weekend?
Well, pretty much you'll get that box lunch, and we'll have a goodie bag with some memorabilia in it, like a challenge coin. And we're actually working on some other items to add to that bag or registration packet where people come. And just like I say, we're just trying to keep it as cheap as we can and cover all our costs and everything to get as many people to come. And have us go. And the other thing I want to mention, we're selling ads. I mean, the primary real estate of our program is pretty well spoken for. But if someone else or another organization would like to buy ad space, it's there on that form. And the form that we're looking at right now is for your ancestor memorial. And what we decided on the committee, it doesn't have to be a Confederate veteran. It can be any military person or even a loved one. We've opened it up for anybody to remember an ancestor or a loved one. And those are 3 lines. I think it's about $20 a piece in that other registration. And at the bottom of that form, breaking news, that is our hotel information. That is the phone number for reservation and the hot link to that. Now you must use Bradford Rose Camp. We just got that secured like day before yesterday, as they say. So that's where we will stay. That'll be the host hotel. I've got a room block. First come, first serve. That works out. And they are working next door on another hotel that will be open sometime the first quarter of 2026.
Okay.
And there's some images of it, and they give us a pretty good rate. Those of us that's been road warriors quite a bit, it's $129 plus tax, which is not a bad room rate for that. For those of us that's traveled quite a bit. So that's breaking news tonight, everybody.
Yep.
Got that
Very good. Very good rates, Mike. That's good rates, of course. And so let's clarify for folks that are coming. So you've got the hotel space set up now. So where the meetings will take place, that's at a different location, correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now, where the hotel is, you can see the building that we'll be having our meeting and our banquet at, which is Morristown Landing. And they have a website too. And basically both structures, you're looking at each other, and the biggest thing is dividing them is the railroad tracks, okay? And I think, Jason, you have some images of Morristown Landing. If not, people can type in Morristown Landing and look at those images. Our meeting room will be downstairs, ground level, on the east end of the building, and our banquet room will be upstairs on the east end of the building. And also, if people want to come in early or stay late, they can contact them and make arrangements for they have a weight room, I think pickleball, swim pool area, they've got some other amenities there at that building, the Morristown Landing building. And it's a newer facility that they built just a few years ago here in Morristown. And I would direct everyone that's coming for this to exit off of I-81 at exit 4. And that's a straight shot from exit 4 off of I-81. That will take you right over to this area. Now, what other amenities are in this area? You've got a hospital, you've got a Walmart, you've got Aubrey's Restaurant, you've got a Wendy's, you've got Huey Magoo's, you've got a Cheddar's, and there's some other ones that I'm not even thinking of. So
now, Mike, what's a Huey Magoo's? What's that? I'm not familiar with that. Is that a chain?
yeah, it's a chain. It's a chicken house. I call it chicken restaurant.
Okay.
There's everything that anybody would want right there.
Yeah.
Where they're staying at, and you're not that far away. In case you want to go sightseeing in other places. Technically, okay, I want to put this out there. The whole world comes to Gatlinburg, Pigeon Forge area.
Mm-hmm.
We're only about an hour away. As you all know, Joey Nolan takes plenty of road trips over there because we see a lot of this posts on Facebook. I got to get on Joey about that. Hello, Joey. So, but stop thinking about that. A lot of people might want to do a mini vacation while they're
Absolutely.
there as well. And I've seen other compatriots, families do this before. And that's what I'm trying to say. We got everything in the world for our guests that's coming to this and our members. Then from that location to the Longstreet Museum is probably about a 20, 25-minute drive on the east side of the county. We're on the west side of the county down there.
Okay.
And that's pretty easy to get to as well. It's 4-lane highway and stuff. And for those that want to know what's on my mind, the physical address of the Longstreet Museum is 5915 East Andrew Johnson Highway, Russellville, Tennessee. There you go. Thanks, Jason. Russellville, Tennessee, 37860. Go to our Facebook page, Longstreet Museum. You can get a lot of this from our Facebook page.
Well, looks like it's going to be a good weekend there, Mike. Looking forward to being there and with the Bradford Rose Camp and the Tennessee Division reunion. Let's do this, Mike. If you'll hang around with us, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back. We need to talk about our sponsors, Jason. If you want to pull up that lower third, and we'll share those, and we'll jump into this break, and we'll be coming back here in just a moment. We'll talk more with Mike Beck, who will be talking about the General Longstreet Museum that you just heard a little bit about. We'll go into some details, show some photographs about the work that he's done and others are continuing to do at the Longstreet Museum, and a great job they do. The Tennessee Division has been supporting them for several years and helping along the way, and glad to continue that support and the work that Mike does. So we thank all of our Patreon sponsors here on SCV Chat, scvchat.com. Jason, you can go to and learn more about how you can become a Patreon member. Also, you can be a sponsor as well, like Dr. Chris Cummings, who is down just a little ways down from me in Mississippi, who takes care of knee pain and other issues. And again, Dr. Chris Cummings, one of our sponsors this evening here at Tennessee Tuesday and SCV Chat. Jason, you want to jump in and make any other comments?
Oh, no, sir. You pretty much got everything covered there. I want to thank the Patreon members. You know, you have this was one of the things that started, they call it the Feed the Moose level. Okay. Mm-hmm. We've always heard Harrison talk about, I'm just a poor college kid. Okay. Well, he's still a poor, but he's no longer a college kid. Okay. So they started that, kind of picking at him. It's $2.50 a month. Then they have a $10 a month level. Then they have a $30 a month level. At the $30 a month level, you start getting merchandise. And I've got an email from Patreon, and I've done the $30, and after so long, they send you something. So they're sending me something. I've got something coming. Maybe next Tuesday I'll have it on.
Maybe if you have it, you can wear it. Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know if it's something I can wear or not. I'm kind of curious to see.
It may not be clothing, man.
No, because they don't tell you. You just get it. So when that comes in, if it's something I can wear, we'll have it here next Tuesday.
Or you can show it. You can show it off if it's here in time.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. But the Patreon members are the ones that make this happen. And we want to talk about Chris Cummins and SCV chat. Chris Cummins, they say he's a great physician. I know the man. He was when I was commander in chief, he was on my staff. Nice man. They say he's his specialty is knee pain. Yeah. And so, but if you ever need a doctor, you can go see, and you're down in that area in Mississippi, you can go see Chris Cummins.
Well, we appreciate all of them making it possible at scvchat.com if you want to go learn more about how you can become a sponsor and a supporter. And hey, I need to compliment Connor and Moose for the great shows they have had the past couple of ones they've hosted. Really enjoyed the spiritual side they've got into. Yes. And I do appreciate their stance there and being able to share that. And sometimes in some of the stuff we do, it can be risky for them, but I appreciate them doing that and the stand they've taken and their Christian values. It means a lot to me, and we appreciate their stand. So let's go ahead and take this break, Jason. We'll be coming back right after this, talk more with Mike Beck here on SCB Chat and Tennessee Tuesday.
There is a place nestled in the rolling farmland of southern Middle Tennessee. A home constructed in 1837, nearly lost to the ravages of war. Saved by a servant and a Confederate general. A place where families loved and lost. If walls could talk, what stories could be told? If a place, a home, can feel love, loss, pain, surely this is one of those places. Nearby is a more recent structure, and inside are the stories of heroes and heroines, stories of battles won and lost, stories of sacrifices made by the people of its native soil. A place that will tell the true and complete story of the Southland and the war fought for its freedom. From the causes that led to the conflict to the modern-day struggles to protect Southern history. Historic Elm Springs and the Confederate Museum at Elm Springs are the general headquarters for the Sons of Confederate Veterans. A place where the story of the Southland and its historic struggle is preserved and told. Come and discover your history.
And welcome back into Tennessee Tuesday on SCV Chat. I'm your host, John Blankenship, also serve as the Tennessee Division Commander of the SCV. Jason Boshears, who is our co-host this evening. Of course, he is the adjutant of the Tennessee Division, past Commander-in-Chief of the organization as well. And Jason, again, we want to say our disclaimer, all the views and opinions you hear on this program tonight are solely our own and not any affiliation with the SCV organization itself, but our own opinion. So we thank you for being here with us tonight. Again, Chuck Roydhouse checking in with us there. The Tennessee Division reunions, of course, are a great place to reconnect. It's become like a family reunion, not just a business session, just getting to see folks that sometimes you may not get to see, but once or twice a year, and always enjoy those reunions. Carl Jones checking in with us there as well. You say hey to Carl. Appreciate all he does. And checking in this evening too. So our guest tonight is Mike Beck. He's a past Tennessee Division commander. Of course, he served 3 terms as division commander a few years ago now. And when I joined the SCV, he was our Tennessee Division commander, and learned a lot from Mike and his leadership, and great job he did leading the division for many years. And of course, Mike is still very active in the organization. Of course, they're at home with the Bradford Rose Camp. And now we're going to kind of jump in, Mike, if we can. Let's talk a little bit more about the General Longstreet Museum that's officially in Russellville, Tennessee. And let's talk about it and what's happening with the museum. And Jason's got some pictures tonight to kind of go through. And Mike, I'm going to kind of let you lead to first tell folks what is the General Longstreet Museum?
Okay. General Longstreet Museum was originally a homestead for the Nenny family. They acquired what we've been able to find out in recent years. That's one of the earliest pictures that we have. That is the earliest picture we have of the Nenny family and the children and stuff in the yard. And you can look at the architectural features of the Italian ornate features. And we have a lot of that. We have a lot of the shutters. And we'll put the shutters, we're in the process of repairing them right now and stuff. We'll have everything put back together before long and ready for the new year and the reunion. But that structure you see there was probably built in the 1850s.
Okay.
That family was just like any families. They prospered and the family grew, they would add on. And in the right side of the image, you see some roof lines protruding out there. That was the original part of the homestead that dates back to the 1820s, 1830s by the architectural features. We've had Dr. Carol Van West up there and his students. They've helped us quite a bit with some of the historical panels and a lot of partnership networking through Dr. Carol Van West, our Tennessee State historian.
So, Mike, let me jump in there and ask you a question, if you don't mind. Of course, the picture we're seeing now, the front part, the main part of the house, that's the 1850s portion of the home?
Yes, sir. That was a structure that the general and the staff used primarily. It has the original flooring in it to this day. And basically, we took a historical landmark and turned it into a historical educational museum. Mm-hmm. And we are highlighting the time that General Longstreet stayed there with his staff in December of 1863 into January of 1864. In other words, they paid the Nenny family 35 days rent, basically what they did.
Sure. So, Mike, let's talk a little bit about the history, of course, after the war. Did it stay in the Nenny family? And kind of how did it get to where it is today? What kind of condition was it in when the organization took it over and began restoration work?
Well, sad to say, it's like a lot of historical structures across the country. It stayed in the Nenny family pretty much until the early part of the 1900s. Then it went through some other family members. Then it finally probably went out of the family probably in the 1970s or definitely 1980s is when it left the family for sure. And by the time the Lake Silver Preservation Association acquired it, it was actually leaking through the roof down into the lower parts of the house. Foundation had some problems. So this structure was technically on its way out when a group of us got together and created the LCWA. Now, how this took place, one of our fellow compatriots, Bill Henderson, is a retired teacher. One of his students gave him a call and said, hey, there's somebody looking into this to buy the property and put a little retail store there.
Oh, okay.
So Bill and I talked, and another fellow compatriot at SCV, Reese Sexton, some of us got our heads put together, and we called one of the local businessmen, Mr. Jack Fishman, and one of the retired county commissioners, Larry Baker, and we all got together and said, hey, if we're going to save this historical landmark, what are we going to do and how are we going to get there? So a plan was devised, as they say. So I went and talked to the current landowner who had it up for sale, who this other guy was looking at putting a little convenient type market or dollar store or whatever you want to call it. And he hadn't made a deal, so I went to the landowners and cut a deal with them to take it off the market for 3 months.
Okay. Yeah.
Non-refundable. I pay them cash, non-refundable, until we organized the Lake Waste Civil Preservation Association, which we are a nonprofit 501c3 incorporated. This group was started by SCV members and local business people. That's how we got started back in 2006. And here we are on our 19th year. Now, it has been a struggle. If anybody knows anything about trying to preserve a structure and remodel and pay a mortgage, you all know how many sleepless nights you have with things.
Yeah, definitely.
And by the grace of God, you just let it free, turn it loose.
So, Mike, let me ask you this: as when y'all acquired it really in 2006, did you know much history behind it besides the general used it? Was there much known about it at that point?
Well, okay, let's go back further. When I was a kid, I was raised from the east side of the county, and we would drive by this house going to town. Well, as a kid, I was interested in all the state historical markers and signs. And I remember that state marker being in the corner of the yard. It said Longstreet's Billet. And see, that was some of the first signs that the state of Tennessee put up back in 1953. That's the sign. Yeah. That's Dan Patterson, a great grandson of Longstreet, and that's a fellow reenactor back in the day. This is a pretty early picture, probably around about 2006 or so. And you can see the highway right behind the reenactors there. And that's another shot of it. And that's a busy intersection right there. We just about take car counts every month, how many cars get banged there, believe it or not. But
and Mike, while we're looking at that picture, I know I don't want to jump ahead from where you're at, but since we've got that picture, the new monument that's going to be dedicated this spring in April, the Division Reunion, that's located on that corner right in there, isn't it?
Yep. You see that pole in that picture? You see that pole? Mm-hmm. Okay. Today, that pole does not exist. It's gone. Okay. But right behind that pole and to the left will be the monument statue on that corner. Now, you can see that road, access road, a little further to the left. Mm-hmm. That will be the new main connecting road to the newly built Leaveney Highway that the state of Tennessee is now constructing. So we will be on the corner, but just a little bit further removed than what our goal is, to take that whole side yard from the left of that pole in that picture and create our monument avenue of signs, historical signs, markers, and other statues over time.
Oh, that's going to be very nice. So really tell that story with signage outside there. Again, when is this picture here from, Mike? Is that from those days when y'all just acquired it?
That picture there is probably about 7 years old, approximately there. Okay. And you can see that connecting road to the left right there. It comes up that intersection, and you can see where the tree is in that side yard. That tree's gone. And Jordy's statues, I call it, be right there in that corner where the marker was. And we plan on putting the UDC marker and some other statues and historical signage right down that way. Because now, also in that same picture, the buildings to the left of that street, the brown buildings and the other building, all that's gone. The state of Tennessee acquired that property. They are going to be widening that road as a new connector, and we're going to get hundreds and thousands of traffic count a day there.
So the new road that's been constructed, is that the one we're seeing in the picture that's on the north side, or I say the top part of this picture?
The top part road is the old original stage road, which goes back into the 1700s. Now, the road to the bottom of the picture, that is present day Highway 11E.
Okay.
That section of the road right there will basically become a side road, because the new 11E will be constructed out of this picture frame further down, further to the south.
Okay,
now,
that makes sense.
Okay, now our neighbors to the right in this picture is the water office, local municipality, and we have a great relationship with them. We use their area for parking for a lot of different tours and occasions that we do. We're able to use a lot of that facility right there. And we've got a small piece of ground, as you see in that picture. Basically, everything with the grass and trees is ours. Now, Russellville was recognized by the state of Tennessee as a town, as a functioning town, December the 9th, 1826.
Okay,
Next year, get this, next year, Russellville will be celebrating its 200th anniversary as an active community in town, which is a big deal, for a lot of us, these local communities.
That's true.
Russellville was so rich in history, going back from the land grant days. A lot of people that went to Middle Tennessee and beyond, west and beyond, they came through Russellville. And we're in the process of networking with other people and helping research other noted people that came through here. Some settled for a while, some of them on land for a while, then they moved further west. And, the Roddies, the Diedrichs, the McClungs, I'm just throwing out somebody might understand some of those last names.
Yeah, the McClung name, that definitely sticks out to me. That's a pretty well-known name in Tennessee.
And the Bean family that made guns, they all were here at one point in time. That's how important this community was. What you're looking at back in the day was the business district of Russellville. And to the right of the image, out of frame, was Fall Creek. And what we recently found out that Kelly there at the museum and covered, working with some other people, that they actually harnessed the creek and had mechanized machinery driven by the water. And they found the deeds where they had 4 ditches or sluice box running from a holding pond to drive the industrial complex of Russellville, Tennessee at the time.
Oh, wow.
In other words, what people's got to realize, they were actually cosmopolitan people. They weren't backward people. Mm-hmm. They were actually trading goods from Baltimore and Charleston. We've got the directory of stores and businesses that were there. There was even a feud. We hear about the Hatfields and McCoys. Well, this was the Kane-Bewley feud that happened. One the northern side and one pro-southern side. They actually had a shootout there in downtown. And part of them are buried in the nearby town cemetery.
Okay, wow. Mm-hmm.
And that's where Channing Green, he's back in there cleaning it up right now. See, that's another thing of his mission. So there's a lot of moving parts and pieces that we're all working together, networking to educate and share the rich history of Russellville.
Well, Mike, let me jump back in with you. Let's jump back to the home a little bit, and let's talk about the association's plans, kind of what you've done. I think Jason may have some other pictures you've given us. Let's talk a little bit about the house itself and kind of where it's got from since y'all have acquired it to the work you've done on it now and kind of where you are now.
That picture you see there, that's how the house basically looks right now. That's an older picture a few winters ago. When the state of Tennessee came in, they said move that piece of the house because we're going to put it in this present day highway. So they detached it and moved it around on the other side of the house, what I'm calling the I house. Yeah. So that portion stuff is from 1920s. Okay, what we will do, and we're planning to do if we can raise the money and stuff, we're going to put the porch in that earlier photograph on this side of the house. We're going to reconstruct it there. In other words,
so let me jump in here, Mike. So where the view we're looking at now of the house in that original picture you showed, obviously that looks different. There's more windows in the original picture. So this is not the same view of the house, right? Or am I wrong?
It's the opposite side of the house, okay?
Okay.
And what I'm trying to explain, when Highway 11E, there in the foreground, came in 1925.
So in that picture, what we're seeing there is now I would say the back side of the house.
Yeah, but that's what everybody sees right now coming to visit. But what we want to do is remodel that porch to what Longstreet would have saw.
Okay, that makes sense.
Now, we got together, like I say, we incorporated, we've got our objectives and goals, and we're trying to take care of it the best we can, as they say. Now, when Longstreet was there, this picture right here, those are some of the events that took place while he was there. If you read the OR accounts, they had a good Christmas, they had a lot of food at first. That's one reason that the Army stayed here in the Valley, is because they had a bumper crop of agricultural products in 1863. And at the nearby church, they sent a staff member to go get the alcohol out of the medical stores. They wanted a little alcohol. At the Battle of Mossy Creek, Longstreet tried to resign twice. Not many people. He wrote his resignation letter while he was in his house. Mm. He had a birthday. Then he was on the battlefield at Danridge, and his Forward elements were back in the Strawberry Plains. And there's so much history that took place from this house that the historians, academia, have just skipped it. It is a true vacuum. If it was that easy to research and write, there would have been books on it. But here's what I'm finding out. That's when he relieved his officers of command, and they started the court-martial proceedings of 3 officers. So the paper trail has been diluted, and what we're doing, we're trying to go through all these documents slowly, meticulously, to build a better timeline of that vacant time. Because this was a bad time, that winter, because that winter was one of the coldest winters on record. Yeah. And that livestock actually froze. Wow. But now that right section of the house, that's the older part of the house.
And let me get that. So that section we see there in that picture, Mike, on the right side, the oldest section, that was on the reverse side of the house originally? Is that?
Yes, that's what I'm trying to say.
Okay, that makes sense now. Mm-hmm.
They detached it and rolled it around on logs and reattached it.
Okay, you reversed the main entrance basically and swapped it around.
Yeah. So, and what we're going to do, we're in the process of trying to raise money for this and other projects and restore it as much as we can to the time at Longstreet and the First Corps Army of Northern Virginia. We're here in the area.
So that oldest portion, Mike, is that a log structure or is that a clapboard structure in itself too?
It's a clapboard structure in itself, but they did have, like I say, they did have sawmills and stuff running at that time. Mm-hmm. And there's some architectural features inside that tells you that technology, some of it was from the 1840s, 1830s, also the 1820s, different details in there. See, a lot of the architectural features are still original to the house inside. It's been modernized, but it's been modernized gently, cautiously.
Well, Mike, what is some of the work you guys have done? Of course, we see it's come a long way from the windows to the shutters, the siding, and even recent work you've done. What are some of the things the association has done since acquiring it to the house itself?
Well, like I said, we partnered with Dr. Carol Van West. We got a lot of historical panels, and we drew a lot of original artifacts from myself and other people from the region to do an interpretive of our region in the house. There's a nearby building. It was a shell of a building to be a garage. We converted that into our public restrooms, research library, and gift shop. And we have an apartment upstairs. We have somebody that lives on the grounds full time. Mm-hmm. And we also have meetings there from our Bradford Rose SCV, UDC, Sons of Revolution are meeting there. We've also included art exhibits from other people to have two different cultures, you might say, blend with history.
Sure.
People painting or photography and different things of that nature. We're just we're trying to be a destination, because a lot of times as historians or museums, curator, directors, we're the first point of contact.
That's true.
For a lot of these people. So we've entertained students from Thailand, let alone people from England, Germany, France, Australia, and many different states across the nation's been there.
Mike, talk a little bit about your relationship with your local Chamber of Commerce. I know you really understand that, how important that is to partner with them, to work together to help their mission and your mission as well.
Well, if you can work with your local Chamber of Commerce, every county does, and every county Chamber of Commerce operates a little different. But here in Hamlin County, we're helping them to bring tourism and what I call free money into the county for tourism dollars, low impact dollars. Plus, we're that destination.
Yeah.
And they, by partner with them, they help us advertise this landmark, and occasionally we're able to get some RAT cards or funding to produce RAT cards, and it gives us another outlet just to advertise our local heritage.
And you're right, it's such a destination, because if people are coming to Russellville, especially, I'm sure that's one of the main things people are coming to see, is a historic site like this. So by them coming to you, then you can partner and send them to other businesses and other things in the area while they're there.
Well, that's it. And one of the other landmarks that we co-partner with is the Davy Crockett Tavern.
Yeah.
Down in Morristown. And see, Russellville, Morristown is between the Knoxville market and the Tri-Cities market. And we're also a crossroads for people coming out of Kentucky through Cumberland Gap, going into North Carolina. So it's about the transportation system, and the railroad's nearby. That's another reason that Longstreet had the railroad connection. And over time, the partnership with the Chamber of Commerce and other businessmen has grown and get a better relationship, because what we do, yes, we are a Confederate museum. Yes, we fly the historical flags 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We don't have no pushback, because we're doing it in an educational, historical way. What we're doing is letting the consumer, the public guest, come and know our culture and let them make their own minds up. Also, at the same time, we have SCV recruitment material there and other people's brochures, because I've got stuff from Jason before. So we are networking with other landmarks in our nearby region and across the state as well.
And Mike, let's briefly mention, of course, the Tennessee Division has partnered with the General Longstreet Museum to help with funding, and you've been able to reach out to other different state-level organizations to help with funding of this. Let's kind of talk a little bit about the funding effort and fundraising that you may need. What can the people watching tonight do that may not be close to you? How can they help out with this? Can they join as a member of the museum, or how do they make donations?
Well, we got an app online there with the Facebook page, because a lot of the stuff we come off our Facebook page stuff, and you can make funding that way. And what we do from time to time is we have adopt a project list. And right now we're coming off of a grant cycle and getting things ready for April, and we will be compiling a new adopter project list, because when you go for these grants, you don't get everything, and then your money only goes so far. And sometimes you get turned down. That's the way it goes.
Yeah, that's true. That's part of it.
One of the other things I'd like to get took care of. I'd like to get new windows in the house. And I'll give you an idea of what that costs. That's $36,000. That's the quote estimate I got to replace all the windows in the house, to get better proper windows with UV protection and different seals better. Like I say, that's an old house. It settles, creaks, moans. Actually, some of the sleepers are logs and still got the bark on underneath that house, believe it or not. And there's some other things we want to put back to the time period as we go. Some fencing, maybe some lamp posts, different things that would have been in the time period. Now you got to realize the Ninnies were wealthy at the time. They were land speculators, cattle. They were into a lot of timber. You just got to go back to what were people doing at that day and time. We're going to have a Christmas party up there or Bradford Rose. We're going to have a Christmas party December 13th at 12 o'clock. So you've got General Longstreet there, alias Bill White, and Santa Claus. That's from one of our previous events. Then also that evening, after the SCV UDC Christmas party, they're putting together a little candlelight tour of the house. That is on the Facebook page right now, running that ad. If those people might be in the area or Gatlinburg, wherever, they can come by and visit us. And technically, we're kind of closing down right now at this time of year, but here's what it, make a phone call, let us know, and we'll make arrangements. And a lot of times Kelly's there anyway, and he'll give a tour to a lot of people through the winter months. So
Mike, you kind of mentioned that those times as you get into winter. So not regular hours, it's by appointment, correct?
Yeah, by appointment. So that way we can make arrangements for somebody to be there, because a lot of times during the holidays, people travel and, a lot of them come to Morristown or go to Nashua and visit family, and they want something to do, okay? And a lot of times we're on that menu. That's something to do. They want to see a little history and entertain the family while they're here. And that's all we ask, that we just give us a heads up.
Yeah, and you guys will make sure somebody's there. I know you give tours as well, so you know a lot about the property. So, Mike, if they want to contact you, join as a member, what's the website again, Jason? I think you've got it to put on the screen that they can go to and learn more about what's happening at the General Longstreet Museum.
Yeah, that's the website, and you've got the phone number there for the museum and stuff. Go through that route, and somebody will get back in touch with you as soon as possible on that. And if we don't get back soon enough, just be patient with us or call us back or whatever. You know, there's a lot going on right now, because the other guys are that make uniforms there for people who want to reenact. I mean, we're trying to be a lot of things to a lot of people right now. Actually, we got the mortgage off of us. Now we're trying to work on maintenance issues and go forward with what all of us need to do, like our ancestors asked us to, is just remember them in a good, honorable way. And the General Longstreet Museum is trying its best to do that, along with everyone's help across the Confederation that's helped us in this journey. And we still need your help.
Well, Mike, great work you guys have done and continue to do, and we look forward to being there in April and seeing the property, of course, for the Tennessee Division Reunion. Again, if you're going to join us at the Division Reunion, you could go to our website, TennesseeSCV.org, and you will find the registration application, all the details about the hotel and the venue where we'll have our meetings and the banquet. It's going to be a good time. Looking forward to coming to Morristown and Russellville, Mike.
I look forward to having you, and we will have a good time.
Again, Mike Beck is our guest, past Tennessee Division Commander. Mike, what is your role with the association there, the Lakeway Preservation Association?
I'm one of the founding members. I'm one of the original 4 founding members of this. I started this while I was still highly involved in the Tennessee Division. And history is a business, I'll just tell you. You've got to work at it as a business. But it's also rewarding to give back to and to recruit people for the UDC and SCV. I mean, you'd be amazed at the people that's hungry for history, and this is opportunity for stuff like this.
Absolutely. Well, Mike Beck is our guest again this evening. Mike, I'm going to let you go tonight. Again, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for working through our tech stuff, and I think it all turned out well having you on the phone, and we went through the photographs. Know that the door is always open anytime you want to come back on, and I'm sure probably after the first of the year, maybe in February, we'll get you back on to talk about the division reunion once again.
I look forward to coming back and hitting it again here, just a last minute reminder. And thank you all for having me. Thank you.
Absolutely, Mike. Well, thank you so much. Well, Jason, let's do this. Let's go ahead and take a break. We're going to come back, and we'll talk a little bit of Tennessee division business and things going on along Tennessee's way, and a lot of events going on and still to come in this fall time as we get into Thanksgiving, get into the Christmas season. So stay with us. We'll be back here on SCV Chat and Tennessee Tuesday.
When my mother was in college, she danced with Confederate veterans. To me, it wasn't that far away. You know, my father knew this. My mother knew this. Almost 50 years ago, I joined the Sons of Confederate Veterans. In those days, we weren't concerned about saving monuments or any of those things. That wasn't necessary. In fact, none of us had any remote idea that it would ever come up. We can't just sit there and react. We have to be proactive. Or, as Robert E. Lee said, the best way to disrupt your enemy's plans is to strike first. Everyone should do all in his power to collect and disseminate the truth, in the hope that it may find a place in history and descend to posterity. History is not the relation of campaigns and battles and generals or other individuals, but that which shows the principles for which the South contended and which justified her struggle for those principles. If you're looking for some place to be where you think you're going to accomplish something to save our history, go to the Sons of Confederate Veterans. I'm Thomas Lee Jesse. I'm a descendant of Private Daughtery Gilmer, a Confederate veteran.
And welcome back into Tennessee Tuesday on SCV Chat. I'm your host, John Blankenship, along with Jason Boshears. Again, Mike Beck joined us tonight. We do thank Mike again, and we want to jump in, Jason, to a little bit of Tennessee division business this evening. But again, let's say hello to all those folks that are watching with us. You've seen many of the comments on the screen tonight. A good crowd watching tonight, and they're enjoying the program, and we do thank you for watching and listening on our many different outlets, whether it's on our Tennessee Tuesday, YouTube, Facebook, as well as SCV Chat, YouTube, and Facebook as well, and I believe Instagram there as well this evening. So thank you for all of those that are here with us and join us each Tuesday. So Jason, let's jump in a little bit here to some of these events that are coming up, and of course the turkey shoot that's already been going on there, of course, with the General Hatton Camp in Lebanon, Tennessee, in Wilson County. They're at the fairgrounds. The next one will be on December the 6th, so that's Saturday, December the 6th, coming up next weekend. So if you're interested in that, there are some details. Great job, Tom Wood and his camp do there. And very active. I was talking to somebody the other night, Jason, about all the work Tom and his camp do. Very, very active, and it pays off, of course, at the national reunion when they win some of those awards, and it proves they are one of the best camps in the organization.
They were, I think I know they were in 24, and I think they won it again in 25.
Yeah, it's been a couple of years in a row, so
yeah,
that just proves
I know they were in 24. Yes.
Well, some other events coming up. We've talked about this one for a few weeks, but it's getting closer to us. It's coming up. That's this weekend, this Saturday, November the 29th. They're the 204th birthday celebration of Champ Ferguson. You can see the details there. So if you're interested in attending that event, and if you're a Tennessee Division member watching us tonight on our private Facebook group there we have for our members, we've got some of these events shared there as well. So you can go check out that if you're in Tennessee. Also, one we've mentioned, this is coming up next weekend, next Saturday and Sunday, the Pea Ridge reenactment. There's some of the details in Missouri that's going to be taking place. I've been to that one before, so that's always a good event. They're coming up. You heard Mike mention tonight the Bradford Rose SCV camp and the Sam Davis UDC having their Christmas party on December the 13th. And Tom says there, Jason, 3 years in a row. proves the good work they do.
Mhm.
Also, another one coming up, of course, is the anniversary of the Battle of Kingsport, the commemoration there on December the 13th, a couple of weeks out. That'll be at 10 o'clock there in Kingsport, not too far down the road from Mike, where he's at. Commander Hill and all those are doing a great job organizing that. I believe Lieutenant Commander Garcia is going to be there speaking on behalf of the division, bringing some greetings along with other folks. So that's coming up, the Battle of Kingsport commemoration on December the 13th. We've mentioned this one for a few weeks, and we've been talking a lot about Sam Davis, but he's so important in our history. And there's one more event coming up. Jason, you are on the board there, so you can talk a little bit about this event.
Oh, yes. This is one of the History After Dark events. They have been promoting these for the past couple of years, and this one is a great one. You're talking during, the time of that. I'm not talking Christmas time, although this is Christmas time. But if you take and you go back to the turn of the century, to the Victorian age, Christmas was treated different than the way it is now. So there was a lot of hauntings and things like that. If you don't believe it, read some of the writings of Edgar Allan Poe, and all of them. But they're doing one, and this is on that Saturday, December 6th at 7 p.m. And you will find out just how different the Davis family and their children would have enjoyed Christmas or spent Christmas compared to your family.
So that's coming up on December the 6th.
Yes, sir.
Let's see some other events. Of course, we've mentioned this one here, the Tennessee Division Reunion. Again, TennesseeSCV.org. You heard Mike talk about that tonight and all the details. You can go get the application and get that sent in, and now you'll be able to get that room booked in that hotel. So go ahead and get that taken care of. I need to do that the next couple of days. Make sure I get a room there. The division commander probably needs to be at the division reunion, I would.
Yes, sir. And I'll go ahead and tell you, if you heard a ding on my end a little bit ago, my wife must be watching, because she went and she booked the room while we were talking about it, and I got the email from it.
Yeah, definitely need to do that. Want to get there and be there. And of course, as Mike has told you, we've got a busy afternoon planned. So we'll be taking care of business, getting the business done, but keep that moving along this year so we have plenty of time for those to see the sites and the things that are happening up in that area at the division reunion. We do want to mention again the National Confederate Museum. Man, what a great organization we have of people that have contributed to make this happen, going back to the days of past Commander-in-Chief McMichael and his vision. McMichael to have this and to see it come to pass and where it is today from when it started, 5-6 years ago now, Jason? How long has it been?
Well, we opened it October the 3rd of 2020. So you're just past our fifth anniversary.
Yeah, I thought it was.
And we didn't even throw ourselves a party.
It's come a long way. Of course, you see the hours there, and recently that Saturdays have now been added 9 to 4. So you have an opportunity to go there and see the museum on the weekend. If you're working during the week, you can get up to Columbia, especially if you're in Tennessee and the surrounding states. Not too bad to get there for you, but if you're making a visit, there's plenty to do in Maury County, many sites and different things to see, a lot of good places to go to. And go see Adam Southern, our executive director, and the fine job he does. And Jason, I know he's talked about this. He's got a book that came out recently. He's a historian himself and knows a lot about Maury County and all the things that are happening there and involved. Eric Pravetti there at headquarters serves as a county commissioner as well, has been chairman of the county commission. And I know a great work they're doing, Jason. Of course, Maury County is home for you, preserving the old courthouse and making it into a museum space. So good to see that preserved.
Yes, and Eric Pravetti is to be rewarded and thanked for the effort he's put into that. That is awesome.
Absolutely. Well, let's see, Jason. Go ahead. Go ahead.
It is a county courthouse.
It is. It is the
Yes.
What's the height of that clock tower? I know it's one of the taller ones in the state.
Brother, you've asked me a question I don't know the answer.
Man, I have stumped you. You don't know the answer, Jason. I'm getting worried.
Well, I tell you what, I will have it next Tuesday. Ask me then.
Some other events, of course, coming up. We are getting into January and the 1st of February where we start having the Lee Jackson banquets. These will start coming in soon, and we'll be sharing more of those. You see one of those that's coming up. Of course, you're going to speak at for the Jeffrey Forrest Brigade that will be coming up here in January. And there's going to be some other ones across the state. And we'll get into some of those. There's the one in Knoxville as well on February the 7th. Commander-in-Chief Donnie Kennedy will be speaking at that event. There'll be others in Tennessee and, of course, across the Confederation. Share those with us, and we'd be happy to pass that along. And one event I don't want to forget about, and let's see if I can pull all the details up. James Turner's really worked on this and others there in Franklin. Yes. The Winstead Hill March, it'll take place from the Hill all the way down to the Carter House. That's coming up this Sunday, the 30th. I believe arrival time's around 1, and the walk starts at 2.
Yes. And you're looking at about a 2.25 mile march, nearly 2.5 mile march from there all the way to the Carter House. You'll go from Winstead Hill to the Carter House.
And of course, you can't walk that whole route. I know there's a couple of places you could park along the way, walk halfway, and even near the Carter House, James Turner was telling me there is some parking in that area, some public parking that you could park and join closer to the end.
Yes, you can. And if you are in period uniform, you'll be toward the front. And if you brought a musket or a flag, bring that with you. If you're in period uniform, behind that will be people that are in civilian clothes, civilian clothes. And then behind that, there will be people. I mean, if you just come with a shirt on and just want to march, you can. And you'll be toward the back, but it is a great march. It's a humbling march. Yes, and I've done it numerous years, and we're going out and we think about those men, when they stepped off from there about 4 p.m. on November 30th, and remember, this is on November 30th. Yeah. You're doing it on the 161st anniversary of that step off. So when you are marching off from there, and you think about, there was a couple of Osage orange trees off to the right, bodock trees. Other than that, it was farmland, and you couldn't, and it's just wide open farmland. And what those boys went through, I mean, those artillery pieces, the artillery pieces, they were rifled guns. They could reach them easy. They did have smooth bores there as well, but some of them were rifled guns, and they were chewing these guys up, and they still kept going. And that's very humbling.
Well, of course, Jason, you'll take that 2.25 mile walk there. If you can make the whole, or if you join us halfway, or if you just come to the end. I know James was telling us there's a small commemoration little service that will take place at the end of that walk there, close to the Carter House. And so if you want to come over for that, that'll be 30 minutes into that. So around 2:30 or so, time that walk, everybody gets there.
Yes, sir. And then the Lotz House is having something at 4 o'clock, which was at the time of the march. And the Lotz
I do know that Thomas Cartwright, he had shared on Facebook that their one that they've got scheduled for the 30th is sold out.
Oh, okay.
So, but they have opened up one on the 29th, and I wish I had those details in front of me, that there still had some room they were going to do. He was agreeing to do a special tour on the 29th as well on that Saturday, this coming Saturday. So if you've never been on a tour of heard Thomas Cartwright tell the story of the Battle of Franklin, you need to hear that. This is definitely worth your time there to go to the Lotz House and hear that.
He knows the story. He knows it thoroughly, and he's a good storyteller. He has forgotten more about the Battle of Franklin in the last 3 seconds than I would ever know. He can take you to points and spots on the battlefield. He's taken me to places before that's just, I didn't know they were there. And it was all of these little accounts that he's pulled out of all of these little stories, and it's just humbling. And he does a fantastic job.
And Jason White, of course, you're in Franklin, go out to the McGavock Cemetery there, the Confederate Cemetery, and to make sure you take a few minutes to walk that route. You'll see many Tennesseans and other ones from the South that are buried there, their final resting place. Make sure you take a few minutes to go out there and honor them at their grave sites. And, of course, as we're walking down the road, we're going to pass the Carter House, but we'll see it there on the left, and you're going to see the battle flag. At least about a month ago when I was up there, it was still flying on the property. So make sure you notice that, and we are
is
flying there.
And it's supposed to fly there.
Absolutely.
The battle flag is supposed to fly. Yes.
And it is back flying, and we do appreciate that is, and the work folks have done to make sure that's happening. Again, something we're excited about. We're still working on January, Jason. We'll be talking more about this at our Division Executive Council meeting. We're looking to host the 2029 National Reunion in Franklin in the Cool Springs area. We're working on the details on that, and we'll have an official proposal together for the committee for the national organization to hopefully host that in Franklin. So that's something we're working on. Lots to do in that area, especially related to the war between the states. And of course, they're in Franklin. So lots of good things. And then coming up this Sunday, the 30th, if you're able to make your way up that way. Looks like I was looking at the weather forecast, Jason, unless it's changed. There's a little bit of chance of rain, but mostly it's going to be pretty nice.
And we've marched it in the rain before. You know, one of these little drizzles, you just keep on marching. Yes.
I think it's you, Jason, that have said this. All the Confederate memorial services you've been to, seems like the sun always clears and the rain stops about the time for the event. I know many I've been to, man, it's like pouring right before it. I'm like, man, Jason's record's not going to last. And then somehow when it's time, I think of the last one that was a big rain was one event we were up at Elm Springs, and man, it was raining misty. And then about a half an hour, it just kind of cleared apart.
Yes, that has happened a few times when we've done the pilgrimage, which is the first weekend in May. Although this past time, it was blowing sideways. There was no stopping that rain. You know, the rain was going sideways, but we went a couple of times and it was drizzling on and off.
Yeah.
There was a time it was raining. It quit. We had it. And then it started back raining. And the great example is the forest reinterment. And there it was raining. I was out there parking cars and I had water running out of my shoes. And then I'm sitting right down from Tom Strain and the sun is shining so much, he gets the top of his head burnt. So you go from, you know, an hour earlier, it's pouring rain, then he gets his head burnt. And we bring the bodies back inside because it had started to rain again and we didn't want any water in the vaults.
Sure.
We had to get the water out of the vaults. Yeah.
Well, Jason, it's something about those memorial services, even if it is a dreary day. It's something like those. Sometimes I like those. It just seems to be the right mood for the day and for the service. It's just something about that. But love attending the memorial services. And man, I know I've been to many of them. I'm sure you have as well. And appreciate all our division members and SCV members that work to continue to honor their ancestors and do what we exist for. That's what we're about.
That's the charge.
Honoring the Confederate soldier. That's what we exist for. That's what we're here to talk about and do.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. One more we want to mention before we wrap up tonight. We're a little past 8 o'clock, about 20 minutes past 8 on this Tuesday evening. We want to mention a new program that Commander-in-Chief has put out. I know you've been a part of this as well. Called SCV Success. And Jason, do you want to talk a little bit about this program and what the commander is kind of wanting to see happen?
Yes, sir. We have people that have come up over the years and they'll say the SCV never does anything. You know, all we do is lose. Okay. Well, John, you know that out there and let people know you don't hear about it the next day. We put the information out and the information dies. You know, what was it that Winston Churchill says? That a lie can get out of bed and make it around the world before the truth can ever wake up and put its pants on. And, you know, so people will feed on the bad news. Sure, we've had losses. All of us know that.
Yeah, but everybody has.
Yes. And well, you still hear about them. I got talked to just a few days ago about Arlington, you know, and there's people still upset about Arlington. When we start talking about the victories we do have and the word doesn't get out. So we have started this SCV Success campaign, and it is just to tell the people the victories that we do have. The sole purpose of this is to notify. You had this one that went out today. It went out to nearly 20,000 email addresses. And it is just to let people know that we are having wins, that we do have successes. And the Sons of Confederate Veterans are fighting this at all levels. This is Kirby Smith Camp 1209 and the Florida Division. Kirby Smith Camp 1209, when they, you know, the whole Summer of Love and all of that started, which is, I call 2020, I call it the Summer of Love. When they started taking all of these down, Kirby Smith was there. They were doing everything they could to keep it from being taken down. And then like a thief in the night, it was taken down. and they kept talking and kept working, and they were just diligent. I mean, they were like bulldogs. They just got a hold of it and wouldn't let go. And they kept on. And then it was given to the descendants of the man who was a Confederate veteran. His last name was Hemming, Charles Hemming. Charles Hemming was a Confederate veteran, and he wanted this statue made to commemorate Florida's Confederate soldiers. And he had this statue made. He had it dedicated. And then so they gave it to the Hemming family. The city of Jacksonville did. And Kirby Smith got it and put it up. But they had all of these red tape and everything that they had to go through to make this happen. Folks, this just did not fall out of the sky. You have to get in there and you have to work. Nobody's going to walk up and hand you one of these. What was LT when they started coming down in Richmond? And I talked to someone and was in the office of the state about it, and I was just straight out flat toed. Yeah. No, we're not going to give it to you because you'll put it back up. When we were talking about the Monument Avenue, we're not going to give them to you. We know you'll put them back up. Yeah. And so there was, and so you have to work. And 1209 worked, and those men are to be congratulated, and they ought to be thanked because they got it, they worked to get it, then they went through the whole process of resurrecting it, and they did it on their property. This is not on anybody else's property. This is at Kirby Smith 1209 Confederate Park. This is SCV. This belongs to the Kirby Smith, and I don't know who owns it. I don't know if Florida Division's involved in it or not. That I don't know, but I know that Kirby Smith, and it's going to stay there. Those men down there are going to take care of it, and they should be congratulated. But our membership needs to know, and when we have these successes, push them out there.
And that's what this campaign is, Jason. Here, this email address that you see on the screen, scbsuccess@scb.org, is where the commander-in-chief wants you to send these emails to, whether it's photographs, details about it, the success your camp or your division has had, so it can be promoted and told. We hear as you said, a lot of the negative. We have a lot of victories, even from small to very large, that show we are winning.
Yes, and I've already had a couple of people contact me because I watch that email address. I've had a couple of people contact me on that, and I've already had one person that has found out about it that has contacted me that's interested in coming back into the Sons of Confederate Veterans.
Oh, great.
Because they know that we're out there and we're working, because he was under the impression we're not doing anything, and now, we have successes, and this is the purpose of this campaign. It's going to go out to all of the membership. All the membership is going to know this. So pass the information along. Don't be the dead end of positive information. Positive information's happening. Positive things are happening. Share it.
Yes.
Okay. You don't have to share all the negative. Okay. That's going to make it around the world because our enemies are going to be telling us that. So you don't have to share the bad news, but share the successes. And let's all celebrate the fact that Kirby Smith 1209 and the Florida Division did this. We've got two more that we're going to be coming out. They're going to be coming out regularly. You're going to find out about our successes. We've had some of them that have already happened. We're going to go back and bring those forward and let people know about the victories we've had here in Tennessee. We've had two recently, and nobody knows about them. We talk about them, but then it never goes anywhere. But this campaign is to get it out.
Absolutely. Good work, Jason. I appreciate your work, and Commander Kennedy there and his work, scvsuccess@scv.org. You can send an email address too with details about your success at your camp division that you've worked on and you've seen that happen. Send some photographs and the details about it, and that will be put out there. Jason, I've seen a Facebook page or group. Is that active out there?
Yes, sir. And I created the Facebook group and I created the Facebook page. So we do have a SCV Success group and page out there. And I'll tell you another victory that is going to be put out there, and you're going to have an opportunity to participate. It is going to be at the Tennessee Division reunion when that monument is erected there at the Longstreet Museum. That is a success.
Yes,
So
it is.
that you're going to be able to be part of this. So come and be part of this.
Well, again, Jason, a lot of great talk tonight. Again, we thank Commander Beck for joining us as our guest this evening to talk about the Longstreet Museum and the upcoming division reunion in Tennessee. It's been a good night. We've enjoyed being together. We're getting ready for Thanksgiving. Do you have a big week planned for family? What you guys doing?
Oh, yes. I've got something on Thursday afternoon, and then I have something on Saturday. You know, I'll be with my family on Thursday, Linda's family on Saturday. I do have one bit of information before we wrap everything
Yes.
up. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, you want to go ahead and share it before we, because we're
I will, because I want to go out on a positive note. Okay. Because this is actually, I'm coming to you as the Tennessee Division Adjutant. Camps, do your 990. You have a December 5th. You have until December 15th. Do your 990. Okay. People have said, no, you don't have to do them. You have to have at least $50,000. No. If you have an EIN, and each camp has an EIN, you have to file a 990. Please file your 990s. Yes. And I'm actually going to, 72 people. Way to go, Hatton Camp. Well, maybe they're going for 4 in a row.
They may be. They may very well be. Yeah. Jason, we also see Kyle Stewart's commented this evening there. I'm assuming he's talking about our shows. You can go back, of course, on our Tennessee Tuesday Facebook page and group, also on YouTube as well, and, of course, on the SCV chat channels. They should be back there. The live ones, just so you know, only stay active on Facebook for 30 days. Facebook automatically deletes all live videos, but they will be archived, of course, on the YouTube channel for both of us, so you can go back there and watch these past episodes as well. So, Jason, it's been a good evening. I've enjoyed this. Ready for Thanksgiving. We'll have a small gathering with our family, and so much to be thankful and grateful for this time of year and, of course, throughout the year. A great organization. I'm proud to be a part of it. We're doing good work. Ignore the negative. Look at the positive. Look at the success, and let's keep pressing forward. Jason, I hope you and your family have a wonderful Thanksgiving, and all of y'all that are watching this evening. And we'll leave you tonight and be back with you this coming Tuesday as we get into the month of December, the final month of this year. So thank y'all for watching. Have yourself a great evening, everybody. God bless you.
Everybody enjoy Thanksgiving.
Yeah.